Hey, I feel like enough people have been sending me questions about change. And I've been talking to people in real time about change. And maybe some people need to hear some of that. I felt like I wanted to come and talk about when you want to see something change in your life, some of the things you might need to do to take control of your own life and to see those changes. And obviously, I'm not an expert. I'm only speaking from my own experience this year. So I'm calling these 10 things to radical transformation, and I hope they're helpful and take them for what you need them for. I think what I learned about this year that overall it was about making new choices. We make choices every single day, but I think when you get your mind right, when you get ready to do something, and you want to see a particular change in your life, I think it's about making new choices. And so that's sort of the umbrella that all of these 10 tips, I guess, fall under. Yes, the first step, I think in sequential order, the first step is first tell the truth, right? Tell the truth to yourself about where your life is, where you wish it was, what choices you've made that you're where you are, maybe the people you attracted into your life or the relationships you stayed in or the job that you stayed in, whatever you're the most unhappy about or that you want to see change in, make the time to tell yourself the truth. And you can take it. Trust me, you can take it. And this is where you make an honest assessment of what's going on. I feel like if you don't do this first step, that everything else is going to be built on a faulty foundation. Number 2, know that there's going to be discomfort and pain during this process of radical transformation. You know, we've spent a lot of our lives keeping things buried or setting stuff aside or making choices for ourselves that don't best feed us. And so when you start to undo that and pull away those scabs and move things and all that stuff, there's going to be discomfort for you and for other people. So keep that in mind as well. Other people are going to be impacted by this radical transformation that you're going to go through. And so know that, right? You're going to be uncomfortable, but you will not die. Trust me, you will not die. It'll be painful. It might be uncomfortable, but you're going to get through it because you're going to be committed to doing this, doing your life a different way. Number 3, construct a circle of support, right? And be discerning here, because not everybody who's your buddy in the end really cares how your life plays itself out. Sometimes the relationships you have in your life are self-serving, and they serve a particular purpose, and when you change the direction of your life, those people may not or cannot remain in your life, right? So be discerning, be careful who your support network is. I have to say my support network right now is so eclectic. It's maybe people I wouldn't have picked in the beginning, but they've slowly and surely come into my life. And there's some people who left my life that I was shocked left, and I had to make peace with that as well. So be discerning, be careful, but have a support network because you're going to need people in those dark days, in those middle days when there's nobody cheering you on, you cannot see the finish line, that you're going to need to call somebody up or cry in somebody's lap or just rage against the machine. And so it's really important that you have a support network. And it can start really small. It doesn't have to be massive. You know, it can be 3 or 4 people that you can trust and depend on. And they each might have a special gift or skill that you can lean on that thing as you need it. Number 4, and this actually it turned out to be one of my favorite things to do during my body project, but also through my own sort of radical transformation, was to do something towards my goal every single day. Are you planning a trip to Europe? Do you want to lose weight? Do you want to be in a new relationship? Do you want to get out of a relationship? Do you want to fix up your house like I'm planning to do in 2012? Do one thing, a minimum of one thing towards your goal every single day, because it builds on itself. Or write yourself a post-it note before you go to bed and stick it somewhere like, you know, clean out such and such, go to the gym, drink a glass of water, stop calling such and such, right? Do one thing that supports the goal that you're ultimately trying to reach. I promise you, it builds on itself. You will see a change. Number 5, forgive, right? first start with forgiving yourself, right? Because I think once you do that honest assessment, the first step of first tell the truth, you'll discover that a lot of things that you feel are wrong in your life or not where you want to be, you had a steady hand in making sure it happened to you. So sometimes the hardest person to forgive is yourself, but forgive yourself, right? And then if there are other people who've offended you, feel like you need to do the work around that, forgive those, and it doesn't happen radically overnight. Maybe for some people it does. It didn't happen for me. It was something I had to work on daily and be reminded and I read about forgiveness. I talked to other people. So forgiveness is going to be huge because ultimately somebody told me this and I didn't believe it at the time, but I've come to really embrace this concept. Forgiveness frees you. It's not about the other person or the other persons, right? It's about the forgiveness of self first, and then it just frees you, and then you can do the work to forgive other people. Number 6, also one of my favorite steps, throw something away. I know it may not have anything to do with weight loss. It may have nothing to do with your trip to Europe. It may not have anything to do with forgiving that person. But if you walk through your house or your apartment or your condo and you find that there's this pile of thing that you haven't touched in a year, chances are whatever is in there, you don't need it. Or take the time to go through it and find what you need and then throw it away, right? Because I think sometimes our physical manifestation of what we see is always or often internally how we're feeling cluttered and bogged down by our stuff. And so anytime I'm feeling overwhelmed, I walk through my house and I throw something away. I go, oh, I haven't used this, and I just put it in a bag and I throw it away. And so I think in spirituality, in spiritual terms, I think it opens up the sphere for something new to come into your life. So look at it that way. Like in throwing this away or releasing this or giving this away, something else can come into your life. Number 7. Okay, so I hope I explained this, but so number 7 is about having open hands. And this is a Buddhist teaching about having open hands, that often we are sort of the author of our own suffering because we have all these expectations and we have all these things that we want and we want people to be a certain way, and when those things don't happen, we hold on. We hold on for dear life. Like, but I want it. We become this like little 3-year-old, right? And the concept of open hands is this thing happened or didn't happen. I had expectations around it and I wish it happened a different way, but I'm going to release it and have open hands. I won't hold on to it because in the holding on, I perpetuate the suffering and the unhappiness and disappointment over and over again in my clutch fist. There's some days when I'm having expectations or I'm frustrated or I want something else. I physically open my hands in front of me so I can see that I'm releasing it. Like whatever it is, release it. Because in the releasing, something else comes. In the releasing, something else comes. In the releasing, something else comes. So I'm practicing that every day. Like, let it go, Michelle, release it. That's not for you, right? Or something else is coming. And I don't want to be the author of my own suffering. Ooh, number 8. Don't keep telling the same painful story. Don't keep stirring your pot. If somebody or something happened that was horrible and dreadful and we can all agree it's horrible, don't keep telling the story to re-traumatize yourself. Because the brain does not know that this thing is not happening right now. It just keeps firing off its neurons and sweating and anxiety and all those things keep popping up, and you stay in a stuck place. You stay in a sad place. You stay in a hurt space. And you don't get to move forward. You don't get to move on, as some people like to say. So, when something bad happens, tell the story and confide in who you need to confide in, but at some point make a conscious decision like, I'm not going to tell that story anymore. There's a story that is a part of kind of why the Body Project started, or why I felt I needed to do something different in my life. And most of 2010, I told this story. And I'm a good storyteller, so it was epic and hard and disgusting, and everybody who heard it was like, gasp, right? And at some point I made a decision not to tell the story. And even now there's some people who may not see me in a while and be like, girl, remember when? And I literally stop them and say, I'm not telling that story anymore. That's not the story I'm telling. Like, that happened. It was horrible. I wish nothing but love and light. and transformation, and I'm not telling the story anymore. Because again, all these things I'm talking about is about making new choices, because everybody can agree the story I was telling was horrible, but I was also re-traumatizing myself by keep telling it. So stop telling the story, right? Put it away somewhere, and maybe when you're not as emotionally attached to it and you want to bring the story out as a testimony or to connect with somebody who might be having a tough time and you can tell the story without getting all upset, maybe save the story for that. But at some point, stop telling the story, right? You just stop re-traumatizing yourself. Number 9, take personal responsibility. Take responsibility for your life. Nobody's going to come along and save you, right? Those days of somebody scooping us up and changing our diapers and giving us a bottle are long gone. And so anything you want in your life, you're going to have to set up the situation for it to happen. I'm not saying there are other people not going to come into your life and offer you opportunities to help you along your way, but first you must take the responsibility of the life that you want. If you have a sucky life, change it. Do something different. Be radical. Be your own author. Do it a different way, because nobody else is going to go, you know what? I think Michelle's having a cruddy life. Let me go over and save her. Nope. They're not. As much as my mama wants me to be happy and well, she cannot do the work I need to do, right? And so take responsibility for what you want in your life. If you want to be stop being unhappy, investigate how that happens. Maybe you need to be in therapy. Maybe you need to be on meds. Maybe you need to go to church. Maybe you need to pray. Maybe you need to run. Maybe you need to change your diet. I don't know what the answer is for you, but do the investigation. But first, it's about collecting all the data you have about who you are and take responsibility. Number 10, give it a year. Give it 1 year. All the things above, all the 9 steps above, do it for a year. I promise you. I promise you. I promise you. Your life will change. It absolutely will. You're not going to be the same anyway if you didn't do anything. But I believe, I trust me when I tell you there's going to be radical change at the end of it. I know that a lot of my video diary, people can see the physical change in me, you know, the breast reduction, the weight loss, the skin is clearing up, I'm smiling more. But so many other things have happened. So many other things have happened internally and spiritually and emotionally that I don't think a camera can pick up. And so the work I've been doing has been a daily walk. It has been daily. It's been days when I feel so unhappy, like I still don't have what I want, or the times when I want to look back at the old story and like, wah. But I remind myself, like, I'm going to do one thing today. I'm going to take responsibility. I'm going to tell the truth. I'm going to practice forgiveness. I'm going to open my hands. You know, I'm going to do something toward my goal. And the day usually works out okay, right? And, you know, and if the universe and God blesses me, I open my eyes to try to do it again the next day. So give it a year. Give it 1 year of your life. You know, if you live to see the whole 2012 play itself out, you're going to be there anyway, so you might as well be the author of how you wanted it to play itself out. So give it a year. I promise you. I promise you. I promise you. I promise you. You will see change, right? If you are present in your life, if you're doing your work, if you're taking responsibility, if you're being as accountable to yourself and being as honest with yourself as you can be, you will see the change. So I hope this was helpful, that I felt compelled to share of these 10 steps of radical transformation. So, and trust me, I'm telling you, my life has been radically transformed. In many ways, it looks the same, but I am not. I am free. All right, I'll talk to you guys later.